Selamat pagi, POWIIS. Okay, today we have something quite special for all of you. But we are going to start with an announcement because today is a very special day. It's SDG Week. And, it's the start of the SDG Week. And so we have the SDG committee, Rashvini and Darini. They're going to come up and introduce that, just refresh our memory about how important the SDGs are for our community and for the rest of the world. So please give a big hand to Rashvini and Darini.
Hi everyone, my name is Rashvini Subramaniam and I'm the Secretary of SDC.
Hi everyone, I'm Darini Subramaniam and I'm a member of the SDC. As you guys know, this week will be the week POWIIS will be celebrating SDG Week.
SDG Week is normally held to raise more awareness on the SDGs as well as to allow us to do more impact for the SDGs.
Today, we'll be playing you a short video regarding two main Sustainable Development Goals, which are
SDG number 11, Sustainable Cities and Communities, as well as SDG number 15, Life on Land.
Please pay attention to the video as the information in it will help you sooner or later to gain some house points.
That is all and enjoy the video. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Good reminder. Let's plant the world with lots of vegetation. Just go wild with it, man. Anyway, so recently we just had our ASEAN Games and, Malaysia won some really good gold medals and things like that. We are so proud of them. Michelle Yeoh just got an Oscar and we were so proud of her. And then we didn't know that actually hiding in the woodworks was a 3-time Grammy Award winner from Malaysia. And I tell you, Malaysians, we're all over the world doing great things, and very often we don't hear from them because we are quite reticent. We just, sit back and just let things happen. But Mr. Phil Tan has really rocked the world. He's won 3 Grammy Awards, and I'd like to just introduce a little bit more about him through a video which was created by his alma mater, Full Sail.
At first I wanted to be a comic book artist, yes. I read a lot of comics as a kid, so one of the things I always thought would be fun was to draw for Marvel Comics. I wanted to find something I could do that I wouldn't mind doing all the time, every day. So if I had to draw or design or paint or something like that, I don't think I would. I think I would prefer to do that for fun. So if I had to do it, I don't think it would be as fun for me. So music, now I can listen to music all day long. So that's what I thought, maybe that's what I should think about doing. When I was at Full Sail, part of the requirements to graduating was an internship at a professional facility. And so, of course, at the time, 91, rock music was kind of at the height of its popularity. So I tried to call all the studios in LA and New York that I'd seen in the liner notes. And I wasn't able to get in touch with anybody. And the one guy that did take my call was here in Atlanta. So I thought, well, let's just get that part over with and then I can move on to LA or New York. But when I came here, that was when Babyface and LA had started the Face Records, and Atlanta started to become a much more vibrant music city as a result of a lot of the urban music that was being produced here. So a lot of work was being done at the place that I was an intern at, and that's where I met LA Face, Jermaine Dupri, Dallas Austin, Organized Noise, Outkast, TLC, Usher. A lot of these guys are, you know, we all kind of grew up together, basically. So it's very much right place, right time type of thing. First single probably, actually wasn't, it was a remix for a TLC single. So that was the first one that kind of got me going, if you would. Like, that was the first thing that I had done, worked with Jermaine on as a mixer. As an album, probably the first Escape album that Jermaine signed. It's a four-women group that Jermaine signed to his label at the time, So So Def, which was distributed by Columbia. When you're talking about purely sound, even though yes, things are becoming a lot more digitized and becoming a lot more, quote, perfect, we as humans still look and connect to humanity in the arts. So if we hear a performance that's going to make us feel something and the hair on the back of our hand stand, that's really much more important than anything else. Whatever decisions that we end up making, it has to serve the song. So as I get to know the song, it informs my decisions throughout the process. And of course, I'm not always right about my choices. So once it goes back to the creators, the artists, writers, producers, sometimes the label executives, and they all come back with comments and suggestions, and those get incorporated, because a lot of times they know these songs better than I do often, and it gives a different perspective, which I think is helpful. I'm just really very thankful that I've been able to get to do what I want to do and be able to sustain a career for as long as I've been able to. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. I was in New York, I don't remember when exactly, but this was some time ago. It's a studio called Right Track. And the studio manager his name is Barry Bon Jovi. He's a cousin of John. And I told him, I said, Barry, you know, back in '91, you know, I called you and I wrote you a letter and all this type of stuff and asked if I could be an intern when you were at the power station. And so he looked at me, he goes, probably worked out for the better. So.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Phil Tan. So the reason we showed you that video was so you already know a little bit more about him. Mr. Phil Tan would like to just spend this time actually answering your questions, because it's very important that he knows what you're thinking and what you want to know, rather than him just feeding you with information that maybe you don't need. So we are going to send a mic into the audience, and if you are interested to ask a question, just put up your hand and we will let you.
What do you want to know?
Do you have anything?
Well, good morning and thank you for welcoming me. So what do you want to know? Don't be shy. I don't bite.
Have you written any songs before?
I've written songs, but they're not out there. They're mostly for myself, so.
Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else? Feel free to walk forward if you want to, so that you save me a few steps here and there.
Have you collabed with Drake?
I worked on a song for Rihanna, actually, and then so he was, I think it's called What's My Name, and he was a feature artist on there.
Nice.
Sir, have you studied a lot of music theory before you get into sound mixing?
Sorry, I can't see where you are, but anyway. Oh, sorry.
Would you stand up, please, when you ask the questions? Yeah.
Yeah, I did some. My mom made me take piano lessons for about 8 years. So Yeah, I have a little bit of that, but it wasn't particularly something I cared that much about at the time.
Go piano lessons.
Indeed. So you guys can come forward if you have questions. Stand up, so you know.
How does like sound mixing work with all the like switches and buttons?
Sound mixing is basically like cooking. You have a whole bunch of ingredients. You have to try to put them together in the right proportions. You have to, you know, not do too much of one thing or the other, so everything feels balanced. As far as the equipment, those are just tools. The point of getting the mix sounding good is so the message comes across to the listener.
What?
I've been working since 1990. Yeah, I'm old, yes.
What genre of music did you make?
What kind of music? Pretty much, when I first started, it was mostly hip hop and rap. And eventually got more into dance. I do some rock. So those are basically what it is: pop, R&B, hip hop.
You said you enjoy this job and that's why you chose it. Do you still enjoy it after all these years?
Oh, sure. It's not really a job to me. So it's just fun.
Why don't you have like a title like Dato, although you won so many Grammy?
Don't care.
Okay, you'll have to yell.
Are you classically trained or pop trained?
Like I said, I took 8 years of classical piano lessons.
So do you get more influenced by classical or pop?
I don't do any classical music. I don't work on any classical music.
So what would you say was your influence to transitioning to pop, hip hop and rock?
Yeah, no, see, to me, pop and rock and all that stuff was more fun. That's basically what it is. So the way I look at it is that if I got to do something fun, then I never have to work. So.
What's your favorite genre of music to listen to?
I don't actually have a favorite genre of music to listen to. It depends on how I feel. So.
Have you ever worked with Paul McCartney?
I have not.
I have a quick question. In the video, you mentioned that you were sort of like right time, right place, sort of when you sort of came in. Did you ever feel in the sort of early beginning parts of your career senses of self-doubt or sort of sense of imposter syndrome or anything like that? Or how did you overcome those kind of feelings if you had them?
Yeah, those kinds of feelings, I don't think should ever go away. I think you should always feel. The way I look at it is if you feel like you're at the very top, then there's nowhere to go. So if you always feel like there's something, so I don't, it'll keep keeping you interested. So I don't, I'm generally a pretty mellow guy, and I don't, with what I do, it's a matter of taste. So I'm fortunate that people like my taste. So that's basically why I've been able to continue working. So.
Hi, as an old man, I struggle to respect music like Fatboy Slim, who take other people's music, put it together and claim it as their music. And the same with OMD electronic music, where it's just programmed, where you do not need to be a musician. What's your opinion on this?
Anything you can do to get the point across, that's really all that matters. So if you're an artist, it doesn't really matter whether you paint with mixed media or just watercolor or anything. Whatever it is that you need to do to get the point across, that's really what you do. And I think it's similar with music. So if and again, music is it's a lot easier to make music these days because of technology than ever before. So it's it's become more democratic, I guess is what I'm saying. So, but you know, whatever works.
Do you make music for movies?
I don't make music for movies, but I do mix music for movies. So if you, on occasion, on a soundtrack, you might, you know, there might be songs that I've worked on. So if you, for example, if you watch Zootopia, the main song on there is a song by Shakira called Try Everything. So that's a song that I worked on. I guess what depends on what you consider famous. Have you heard of Mariah Carey? Do you know I've worked on some K-pop stuff as well. Do you know New Jeans? I guess that's more recent. So.
All right, one more question
Yes.
here.
I have, yes.
Good morning, sir. So I have a question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how fun do you think your career is, and do you think it's really easy to pick up?
I don't know if it's necessarily easy, because the times have changed a lot since when I began. Again, I started back in 1990. So in the early days, everything was analog, meaning, you know, now you have to physically do stuff on physical tape. Now everything is digital. So there's a work process that has to change. But I don't know about a scale. It's all fun to me. It's the learning is what's fun, in my opinion. Because on a daily basis, depending on what it is that you work on, you'll need to adjust. You'll need to find new things to do. You'll need to find new ways. And then, you know, with the young kids today, they have different listening tastes, and that keeps you on your toes. So.
What's your preferred studio mixing software?
I mostly use Pro Tools.
Do you think all plugins should be free?
All plugins should be free? No. People, they have to make money too. They have to survive.
Hi, good morning. If I wanted your job and I was a student, how do I get to where you are? Do I need to do some training? What do I do?
It's probably a good idea, but there are plenty of how-to videos that are readily available on YouTube about how to go about doing this. But I think the main thing is to just get better with understanding how music works, like how it's put together, just like you would if you were a makeup artist, for example. You have a blank canvas, you want to make someone look pretty, you want to make someone look scary. There's different techniques, different ways to go about it. So the more you study, the easier it becomes.
What song from New Jeans did you work on?
New Jeans, OMG is one of the songs. There's the new EP. There's a song called New Jeans on there as well. So it's on there. But I don't remember off the top of my head what else is on there. But.
I have a question.
Okay.
Hello. I have a question. There are a lot of really good sound engineers out there, of course.
Sure.
And the question I have is, what makes it special that people keep coming back to you? Besides your talent, are there any other secret ingredients that make the artists really want to work with you over and over again?
That I actually cannot answer because it depends on. Honestly, I think it's really more a matter of what you've done. The business is it's filled with followers. Let's just put it that way. If you've done something here, then everyone wants to become that. So if you've had a hit song, for example, that you worked on, then that might be able to sustain you for quite some time because someone will say, hey, we like the way that sounds, we'd like to get so-and-so to work on that. So. Am I rich? I make a good living. So I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
Like top 1%?
Probably. Again, it's all relative, right? Because depending on which way you are.
Yeah. Thank you for that final question. Those of you in PAA, you'll have a chance to ask your questions a little later, but actually it is time for you to go to your classes. So can we give a big round, warm of applause for Mr. Phil for answering your questions with such honesty and openness.